Live, welcome to Uncoachable, a podcast for parents and coaches, by parents and coaches. I'm Coach Patrick. The guy sitting across from me is Coach Lance. Coach, how are you doing today?
Doing well, thank you.
And the guy sitting to my right is Coach Logan. Coach, how are you doing today?
Pretty good.
A bit of a late night, a little bit of equipment on the fritz. So appreciate you guys staying with me, even though I took a nap while you guys figured out the problems.
You're welcome.
I don't know what's going on over there.
What's a black? This black box. Just you guys do something with it.
I can't hear myself when I speak, so you guys fix that. I'm going to take a nap.
Essentially, what you did.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, the guy sitting to my left is Joe Boo, and he's got safety pins in his eyelids right now, just trying to keep his eyes open. He's about to fall asleep.
His cigar is even out of his mouth right now.
Yeah, he's just over it.
He's so tired he can't even smoke a cigar, and that's when you know Joe Boo's tired.
Yeah.
He's got bedhead and everything.
Had to wake him back up.
He's also the long lost cousin of the Trolls. I don't know if you guys knew that.
He would be like Master Splinter of the Trolls.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. Yep.
What do you mean? I like that. That's what he is.
Well,
Get it right.
that's why I like it. This is the real deal.
So, basically, this is the inaugural podcast, and this is the introduction to our podcast.
When he says basically, we have recorded. There's my Boston accent coming out. I don't even have one. I'm not even from Boston, but it came out.
Live from Piscataway.
We have recorded some test podcasts just to see how we like doing things.
Right.
And with that, we found I think we found a pretty good rhythm with what we did. Now, most of the time, I'll let Coach Patrick here explain this because he had said it perfectly. So,
Well, we found the recipe for it. We went through it, and we've done a bunch, and we had an outline of what we wanted to talk about, and it was a nightmare. So we're basically going to come in here, have an idea of what we want to do, and wing it. And this is just us getting together, talking about baseball, having a topic in mind of something that's a good topic. I want to talk about that. And we're going to get down here, and we're just going to basically shoot the crap with you guys, but we're not going to be able to hear what you're saying. And that's, basically how this started was I'm trying to figure out we are all coaches. And I was trying to figure out how to teach my kids something. And I started thinking, so I picked up my phone just to get my thoughts in order. And I picked up my phone, and I had this recording app on my phone, and I talked about it. And I was trying to talk about hitting approach, and I ended up talking about two-strike hitting for like 45 minutes on a drive to Dubuque or something. And I'm like, I really don't know what the hell I'm trying to teach here. So maybe I need to talk to some of my other friends that are coaches and some of my other, people that are around the area, some of my old coaches. What are you guys teaching in this area? Then I thought, well, if we're going to do that, why not we just record it? And that's basically how this came to be. And I called Coach Lance. I said, hey, what do you think of this idea? And he said, oh, yeah, I'm on board.
I said more than, oh, I'm on board. Like, I was ecstatic for it. I was jumping up and down, like, let's do it. The only problem is we need equipment.
Yeah.
I don't have a mic. I don't know how to run a mic. I don't know.
I don't have any idea how to go about recording it. We'll talk to her blue in the face.
We can talk, but
maybe we'll just set our phone in the middle of the table and we'll speak into it like a conference call.
That was my first suggestion. We can get it recorded at least.
Then
it may not be the greatest, but
I called Coach Logan. I said, "What do you think of this idea? Is this a good idea?" And he goes, "I am on board 100%, and I have all the equipment we need." And I'm like, "You're hired."
The only thing is we had to put a mic in front of him. That's the only problem.
And he says off-color jokes. So
They have regretted this decision.
He was brought in just to keep us on task, and he doesn't.
I do the opposite.
In no way have I regretted that decision at
No way
all.
whatsoever.
So yeah, and that's basically what we just wanted to get on here for this episode, and we want to talk about, kind of introduce you to us and who we are, and get you to hear our mellifluous voices, and kind of talk about what we want to do and what we want to get accomplished and why we want to do this.
So you guys heard him use the word mellifluous, and I want to make sure that you all are prepared that not only with us talking baseball, we're going to get on some other topics, just in normal conversation, kind of the way that we do things here. You're going to hear you're going to hear us laughing a lot. We like to have fun. We like to enjoy this. Like he said, it's something that we were already doing.
Yeah.
And now we're just recording it. We were already sitting down and talking about our week in baseball or what's going on even in the pros. But really what we want to focus on is more youth baseball and the coaching aspect and helping parents understand where the coaches are coming from. And not only that, Coach Patrick doesn't have any kids. He has his baseball players, if you will, that he coaches. Me and Logan, we each have 3 children. So he's the coach, we're the parents, but we're also coaches as well. That's one thing that, that's where Coach Patrick can bring a different mindset to things, and that's what he's been great at. We've coached together for 3 years. I'm getting probably a little bit into our bios, if you will, our intros, but it's really something that, we enjoy doing, and we appreciate that you're listening. In all honesty, we would be doing it either way. So that's why we're recording it, hoping that we can shed some light on some things that coaches go through, and hopefully we can help parents help their players.
I can't tell you how many times we have been sitting in a parking lot talking after the game about what happened and what we need to do and what worked and what didn't and what we're going to do tomorrow, and then all of a sudden all the lights start turning off. Sure, well, it's 3 hours later. We maybe want to go home. You can go to your kids, and I can go be selfish. And
That's good point. Yeah. Well, if I'm at the ball field for 3 hours, then my kid's already in bed, and my wife's mad at me but asleep. So
right. So later she won't be.
If I don't come home, it might be better. No, I better go home.
Yeah. Face the music. It's not like she didn't know what she was getting when she married me.
She married me.
Yeah, I was being you.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Sometimes I like to pretend.
You had your chance.
Talk about another decision I don't regret. I love you, Leah. I love you. Trust me. So, and honestly, I'll call Coach Logan after his games, or he'll call me, and we'll talk about some things, and I mean, it ends up 2-3 hour conversation there. Yeah. Honestly, we are doing the same thing that we were doing. We're just recording it and letting you guys listen, kind of a little bit inside baseball on what coaches talk about. As parents, you'll be able to understand. Okay. I think the biggest disconnect in youth sports right now is parents and coaches. And we're going to talk about this a lot. As coaches, we have 11, 12, in some cases 13 kids. In Little League, it's even more than that. It's not starting on Little League. And sorry. And I mean, we got a season full of baseball with numerous kids, and you got one. So understand, I don't need a reason to sit your kid on the bench. Sometimes my reason is this other kid never plays and your kids never come out of the game. Okay, he needs to sit, or he just pitched 4 innings, threw 80 pitches. He needs to sit down and rest.
But let's not dive in that too much. Right. This is our intro.
It's just getting off on a tangent.
There you guys go. That's going to be. That was just a quick, brief introduction as to some of the things we may talk about. That's a very good point, Coach Patrick. Where that is one thing that we have talked about in the past, and just helping parents understand how why the coaches are doing something. And as he said, when we have 11 kids on the field, or if you will, on the bench, 9 only can play the field. 2 of them have to sit at one time. It's just, I can't put any more out there.
Yeah.
So someone has to. Someone has to bat ninth in the lineup. It has to happen. I can't bat everybody in the one spot. Because guess what?
It'd be a really crowded batter's box.
Very much so,
And
yes.
your kids would get hurt because they'd be getting hit with bats from other kids.
So you can't, you got to understand. And there is...
And that's why we're here. We're
Yes.
here to help you understand.
Absolutely.
This is what we're doing. This is what coaches are thinking about. And we're going to give you some things to maybe think about yourself as well.
Not only that, what our goal is with this as well is to help develop, or help you as parents help develop your kids. Give your kids maybe some drills, some ideas to think about while in the batter's box, while on the baseball field. Just
You don't think when you're in the batter's box.
in a way you do.
Yeah, I know.
But you get what I'm saying. So that's we're also hoping that we can shed some light on some drills that can be done. Well, you will hear us actually talk a lot when we talk fielding. You'll hear us talk about the 6 F's of fielding. And again, we dive into that a lot more, or we will dive into that a lot more. But that is one thing that in fielding you have to do in order to field the ball correctly.
Right.
And if you watch anybody in the pros and on down, that's what they're doing. It may look flawless, it may look effortless, but it's been because they started it at 9U, 8U. They have been taught this going into that. Or you know what? Guess what? They may not have even been taught it until high school. Or they may have been taught it, but it wasn't called the 6 F's of fielding.
It might not even technically look the same from an outsider's point of view. It might not look the same. It might say, oh, well, that guy, see what this guy's doing, and it doesn't look like what you're teaching my kids. Well, it is. It's just, and that's kind of the stuff that we're going to get into, but it's also a little bit of an informational podcast mixed with Family Guy, because, well, not to mention there's going to be a lot of Family Guy references. There's a lot of cutaways that have nothing to do with the overall narrative. And it's going to be a half hour later, we're going to be like, oh, that's right. We were supposed to be talking about baseball. We're not supposed to be talking about LeBron James, which I was wrong on, by the way, but that's a different.
Oh no, you just started the first podcast saying you were wrong.
I did.
This sets the whole narrative for Coach. I'm always right, and
I'm Coach Right all the time, and this is my partner, Coach Terrible Coach.
I
resemble that remark.
I do not.
Rarely am I wrong. When it comes to
his own mind.
When it comes to decisions other people have made, and I'm trying to guess what they're doing beforehand, I've missed on a couple of those. And for the record, for all you Cubs fans out there, I missed big time on Arizmendi Alcantara, but I did not miss on Javier Baez. Just so you guys know. Anyway,
Do you want a
tangent? Half a cookie, because I missed on one too.
Javier Baez is like Coach Patrick's band that everybody has that they think are really cool, and then they go mainstream, and you're like, I knew about them first.
I was like that with Devin Hester too, when he was with the Bears. I was like, you guys didn't even want him in the 3rd round. I was like, oh, this is a good pick, and you're like, no, this guy sucks. It's stupid to draft this guy right in the 3rd round. And I'm like, oh, you're gonna eat those words in 2 years, and then
It didn't even take 2 years.
No.
He was dumb.
Only,
He didn't know plays.
just because when he went out to wide receiver, he faced the wrong direction, does not mean he was stupid.
You're right.
I mean, only guy that can run through rain and not get wet.
True.
And this is exactly what we're talking about.
There's
It's
tangent.
exactly what we're talking about. It's
So
supposed to be a short intro podcast.
supposed to be. No, we're doing well. Coach Patrick, I know on our website we have a little bit about you, but give us just a quick intro to you.
To me,
To you. Let's stick with baseball.
my soul.
No, I don't want anything to do with your soul because that's scary.
Okay. Basically, I played baseball. I played travel baseball from like 10 through when I got to high school. Played high school baseball. And then didn't really do much after that. I've always, in the back of my mind, wanted to coach, but I always kind of figured I was a little bit too young. And I just turned 31. So and Coach Lance is just a year older than me. And Coach Logan's the same age as me. We actually graduated high school together. And didn't really pursue anything in the world of baseball. And then...
Unfortunately.
Yeah, unfortunately, really. And then Coach Lance called me 3 years ago and said, hey, I kind of got talked into coaching this travel baseball team, and I need your help. And I went, I'm just not sure I have the patience to coach 9-year-olds. I don't have any kids of my own, as he said, and I don't have that kind of patience. So let me think about it. And luckily, I took him up on the offer, and I have lived and eaten and breathed and slept baseball since. And I mean, I'm a huge Cubs fan. I don't even pay attention to the Cubs until our baseball season is over. I have no idea what's going on. And I remember I would come home, or I'd go see my parents after a baseball game. We'd go out to dinner or something. I go, oh, so did you win? I go, I don't know. What do you mean you don't know? You had a game, right? Yeah, we had a game. You don't know if you won? Could not care less if we won or lost. No idea. I know how we played, and I know that we played well. That's all I care about. Mm-hmm. Winning will take care of itself. And, I mean, for me, I was in a bit of a rut kind of with my life. I was just kind of going to work and coming home and not really doing much outside of that.
Didn't have a whole lot to, I don't want to say to live for, but didn't have a whole lot to be excited about.
Yeah, it was just, life was just happening. I wasn't living it, really. And then I got into baseball, and it's been my entire life since I started coaching.
Oh, yeah.
And I would not trade it for the world. And it turned into this goofy little show, too. So, anyway, for me, that's about all I got.
Cool. And that's, as you guys will tell, you know, we're friends here. First and foremost, Patrick and I are cousins, but best friends above, far and above that. With that being said, that's why I brought him. That's why I asked him to come coach. Not only knowing his knowledge of baseball, but also wanting to coach with him, because knowing that I could learn from him, he could learn the coaching aspect from me, because with the 3 years that we've coached together, I've coached 3 years before that. I've coached or helped in some way since my oldest was 5. So I've been doing it for 6 years.
Those of you that coach 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds, God bless you.
Yes, absolutely. I was an assistant coach the very first year because I wasn't ready to step in, didn't know what to expect, and then I realized during that year that I didn't want to have to listen to other coaches and do other things. I wanted to teach the kids what they needed to be taught, and I felt that I was the best one for my son to do that, and it kind of evolved into my mindset when it comes to baseball, and that is fundamentals. I do a great job coaching the basics and the fundamentals, and I can do that with kids that don't know it, and I can get them evolved into a baseball player quite quickly. What I needed Coach Patrick for was to dive into the game a lot deeper.
The intricacies of it.
And I knew the intricacies. I didn't know how to, or I needed to bounce it off of somebody. Mm-hmm. And it was nice having him there. I would talk to him after games, still before we started coaching together, and we would dive into things, and I was like, that's what we need. Like that's what I need to be able to teach these kids, and that's what it became.
Well, and I remember one time that really wanted is when I decided I really wanted to get into coaching. Is when we were out after one of Kellen's Little League games, and you're like, I can't figure out what he's doing wrong. I can see that it's not right, but I can't see why. And he was just wrapping his front shoulder just a little bit. You're like, that's what it is. Thank you. I was like, I need to be doing this. Like, I can see that right away. Why am I not sharing my knowledge that I have? Why am I not sharing this, this thing that I love to do, and I'm not doing it? So honestly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for the opportunity. And I know that I don't need to thank you, but
no, not one bit. So, Coach Logan, you guys got a little bit about us. Wow, that was
easy for you to say,
right? Got a little bit about us, guys. Coach Logan.
A mouthful there.
It was.
Ooh. All them peanut butter cookies we ate.
It was.
I'll do it to you every time.
I have no problem with it. I'd do it again.
So for me, I didn't play nearly as much baseball as I should have. As much as I could have. I was not horrible at it. I was never like the stud, but I played travel baseball in Little League growing up, and then in travel baseball in like 7th and 8th grade. And came out for freshman tryouts and just realized real quick, like, this is too much for me. Like, the kids were all faster, bigger, stronger. And I probably could have stuck with it and hung with them and maybe not have been a starter every day, but I could have been a contributor, But it was much easier just to quit. And I listen to me, everyone out here that's listening to this. Don't do that. Don't do that. You'll regret it for the rest of your life. And I do. I wish to God I would have stuck with at least one sport in high school, if not two. Yeah, I got real lazy and stupid and just didn't care. That's what it was. It would amount to I didn't care, and that's not something you want to be in life, is someone that doesn't care. But
I think we've all gone through a little bit of that in high school.
Yeah, I went through it a lot. I was like the guy that doesn't care.
I was all stated not caring.
Yeah, I was. Biggest risk taker was my high school superlative, if that tells you anything. So,
Okay.
Mine was, I don't know what mine was. I know I was voted most likely to trip at graduation, so that tells you who I am.
Bull moose in China hutch.
But I always loved baseball, big time. And as a matter of fact, when I was in Little League growing up, I was by far like the biggest baseball nerd of all my friends. Like, I could tell you players that nobody's ever heard of. I could tell you random stats. Now Coach Patrick has just completely blown everyone out of the water in that department. He can tell you random 90s baseball player stats like Tim Kirkton.
Go back further.
Dude, I mean, that was just, that's just the tip of the iceberg right there. I mean, good Lord, you name it, he'll dive into it. But I love the game, always have. It's a beautiful game. It's a thinking man's game. There's a lot more going on when you're watching a baseball game than just what you're seeing. And that's what I love about it, is analyzing, I wonder what that second baseman's thinking right about now. Even though he might not even be in the play or whatever, But what happened for me was I had kids and kind of got thrown into coaching T-ball and whatever because nobody else wants to step up to the plate and do it. And I'm like, well, I might not be the first choice for a coach, but I'm sure I can do a decent enough job. And I just kept doing it good enough. I'd coached T-ball for 2 years and kept it together, which that alone is an accomplishment because T-ball is just a complete joke.
That's not a joke. It gets the kids out there.
I'm laughing.
Well, yeah, it's fun. It's fun to watch.
Basically, your only goal as a T-ball coach is to try and get not the entire team going after the same ball. If you can get it to where just one or two kids is going after the ball at a time, you have succeeded. So I
As
succeeded.
long as one of those players isn't the batter, we're doing good.
Yes, exactly.
The only thing I didn't like about T-ball was that even if you got the runner out, he was still safe.
Yeah, they didn't keep track of outs or runs or anything of that.
They didn't. The kids did.
Yeah,
The, The competitors did.
yeah.
Hashtag no participation trophies.
I started a little bit of coach pitch to him even at the end of the second year. So I mean, there's things to be said that we made strides, but
You've been coach pitching that long and you're still that bad at it?
touche.
You played baseball that long, and you still can't hit a ground ball where it needs to go.
Shut up.
So then, coached after 2 years of T-ball. I coached my first year of coach pitch in Little League, and I was ready for more. I didn't think my son was ready for more, so we got jumped into travel ball at 7U, which was a little early, but we had friends. A friend that was coaching the team needed some players, so we're like, you know what, why not? Let's give it a shot. And just kind of like what you said, Lance, I was coaching with this other coach and started realizing, I just feel like I could be what's best for these kids. And that thought was reaffirmed by the 8U season. Not that he was a bad coach or anything. I'm not dogging anybody. We're just, hey, we see things differently from time to time. So I just wanted an opportunity to. So that's what I'm doing this year. It's my first year of coaching on my own, a travel team.
Team manager. Not team manager. Manager.
Yeah.
There it is.
Mr. Manager.
It's been
manager.
it's been a great experience. I've been loving every second of it, and I'm been fortunate enough to be around these two guys who have taught me so much in such a short time.
Not just taught him, but we got him addicted to gloves too.
I've become a full-on baseball junkie. So anytime you want to talk bats, gloves, any kind of product
Equipment.
You're welcome.
I'm in. Let's talk about it. Let's have that discussion and be ready for a longer discussion than what you were ready for, though.
For sure. For sure.
So, that's me.
You mean we can't just make it up as we go along? We actually have to do research? I ain't playing.
Yeah, you better come. You better know your stuff when you're going to talk to one of us when it comes to baseball equipment, because we'll call you out real quick on something that you have no clue what you're talking about.
Especially the training tools. Don't even ask me about training tools.
Another topic. Let's wrap up this intro to us. You can see Coach Patrick has some exasperated views on things, and sometimes I'm the one that has the cool, calm, collected mind. Other times he's gonna be one that's just like, "Oh my God, nobody cares. Shut up, Lance." So let's.
We're able to pull the ripcord on each other pretty good, and we need that from time to time.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. So that's us in a nutshell. We hope you enjoy what you get to listen to.
This is me in a nutshell. Help! I'm in a nutshell. How did I get into this nutshell? It's an Austin Powers joke.
Oh, jeez. Here we go. That's so it begins.
And we are out.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.